You were literally born in a rickshaw.
This is a normal cinema story.
Why did you want to become a doctor?
I want to be a doctor just because I want to have a tube light in my house.
I think it's very different because, as you rightly said,
I don't think you can get any silliest reason to become a doctor than this.
one particular case about a girl who's had 4 different major problems and you operated on a 9-year-old girl.
So I operate on her both knees and hips and I put her back on the feet, and that was the highest point of my career. She was on the wheelchair for 10 years and I put her back on the feet, and that is the ultimate happiness of life for any doctor.
Those stories are inspirational.
I just wanted to have the doctor-patient relationship in a very profound way.
Why did you start Sunshine?
I wanted to start a specialty orthopedic hospital. That's why I carried on to this place, started Sunshine.
You said the smile which I give at 8 a.m. in the morning, and if I'm able to give at 8 p.m. in the night, I'll still stay on the job or else I will retire.
Absolutely spot on. The people keep on asking me, when do you retire? My answer is the same.
KIMS Sunshine then came about.
I always say that the Sunshine is my wife, KIMS is my mother.
Welcome to Conversations. I'm Suresh Kochatal. Doctors, they say, become legends. Not all of them, but some of them. And today I have with one such person. A gentleman who is known for his field, for the best of knee replacement and joint replacement and anything to do with orthopedics for that matter. Dr. Gurava Reddy. And of course, everybody knows KIMS Sunshine, and everybody knows him even before that. And we understand about him, his story of how he became a doctor. In fact, very interesting parallels that I was reading about him as to how he went to England, how he got educated there, how he got to working there, and then of course he came back and whatever he did, a YouTube star in his own right, in all his wings. And today we are lucky to have him speak with us. Welcome, sir. Namaskar.
Hi, sir.
Your journey started from Guntur.
Yeah.
And I was hearing about the story that you were literally born in a rickshaw. Not many people have that opportunity to talk about it. The early days in Guntur, a small town, must be smaller those days even at that time when you're talking about it. And the obvious question anyone would ask is, why did you want to become a doctor? I'm sure you heard this question umpteen times.
Yeah, it's a funny story. I keep telling that I don't have a mother ailing with cancer or a father ailing with tuberculosis or sister died with heart disease. This is a normal cinema story.
Correct.
Why you get inspired to become a doctor. I want to be a doctor just because I want to have a tube light in my house. Those days, we were in Bapatla. My whole childhood, though I was born in rickshaw in Guntur, but when I was a child, 1-2-year-old, my father got a job in Bapatla Agriculture College. So whole of my childhood was in Bapatla. So in those days, I don't know whether, I'm sure you also must be knowing that, in those days, middle class, lower middle class families used to have a bulbs. That bulbs start from 40 candles, 60 candles, 80 candles. And in the rich people and in the shops, tube lights used to be there. Tube light is a very bright light, and in the 40 candles bulb, very dim light.
Sure.
So in Bapatla, our one doctor is there, Yarlagada Krishnamurthy. Recently he expired.
Yes.
And he used to wear white and white, and his clinic is full of white. And there used to be a Murphy calendar in those days. Just like Vijay Mallaya's calendar now.
Yes.
Those days, those models are small babies. And every baby is a smiling baby. And in the doctor's room, all Murphy calendar babies. And he has got 2 tube lights. And when I went to see him as a child for some problem, I remember that, oh boy, so if I become doctor, I can have tube light in my room. So that was the provocation to become a doctor.
I think it's very different because, as you rightly said, most of the people have some story behind
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
saying that there's some problem in the family that forces them to become a doctor.
I don't think you can get any silliest reason to become a doctor than this.
Now, with understanding that passion of having a tube light to become a doctor, how did you start? You were educated in Guntur earlier?
Yeah, no, I was educated all the time in
Bapatla
Bapatla.
itself.
I did all my intermediate 10th class in high school, municipal high school, Bapatla. My intermediate in arts college, Bapatla. Then I got my BSc agriculture also in Bapatla Agriculture College, where my father was a professor. Because every time I write a medical entrance, I missed by 1 or 2 marks. Then I got the BSc agriculture seat. I kept on applying for the medical entrance. 4th time I got the medicine seat. By the time I finished almost 3 years for my BSc agriculture, I was in the final year. So then I got the medical seat. So that was again, first 3 attempts I missed it. Then my father scolded me, do not even attempt to go to medical school. You just stay put here. I'll send you to America for MSc Agriculture and your life is done. But I don't want, I want to be a doctor. And because of that white coat is such a enticing thing. And again, my mother wanted me to be a doctor. And she was a great influence on me. So fourth time when I got the seat, I concealed my medical entrance books in the terrace under a haystack and used to read after my father went to bed. Because he didn't want me to touch medical entrance books. He said enough is enough. So I used to sneak upstairs when he slept and then I used to read the books. That time, God gave me the medical seat.
Otherwise, you would have become an
I would have become
agriculture scientist. Or something.
agriculture scientist somewhere in America.
But those stories are inspirational because today's youngsters, go to coaching institutes. They are 24/7 spoon-fed by coaching institute into writing the NEET entrance for getting a medical seat. And of course, once they do that, MBBS is not enough because that's only a pure vanilla stuff. Then you need to do your MD and then you need to do something else before, I think by the time of age 35 or something, you become a real doctor. But Dr. Gurava Reddy, in terms of specialization, I remember reading the story about you wanting to go to England and that you were so excited that it's going to be one of the first flights that you're going to take, but you didn't have the money. So you sold your scooter and your refrigerator. Is this story true, sir?
Yes, exactly. As I said, I come from a very middle class family. In fact, until I fell into love with my wife, we did not have a fridge in our house in Guntur. My father was a professor in agricultural college and he was a scientist. But as a middle class family, we did not have any major amenities. And we used to drink from the earthen pot, which was the norm in that day. So I did not have any cycle or scooter to go to medical college as well. After I got into post-graduation in Pune, my stipend was 800 rupees and my house rent was 1,000 rupees. So you can imagine how we managed. So my mother-in-law used to help us and I refused to take any money either from my parents or my in-laws. My in-laws were, my father-in-law was chief minister at the time. But I refused to take money. And so we tried to borrow money from friends and get on with the life. And at the time I got this opportunity to go to England and I did not have the ticket, money to buy the ticket. So we sold the scooter and fridge. I very well remember those two I sold in the same day. And on the second day, I sent the money to buy the ticket for England.
What was it like going to England, sir? How different is it education those days? Now we know, of course, that there are so many opportunities abroad. There are good opportunities in India also. But those days, what was it?
It was a single most turning point of my life. The very fact I am here now, being interviewed by a person like you, is just because of my England background. Otherwise, I would have been happier. I was planning that I would open a small nursing home in Narsaraopet or Guntur because that was my horizon at that time. I could not have dreamt bigger than that. But the single stroke of luck, not only luck, that Dr. Satish Kuti, who was my mentor in England, he took me to England and the rest is history. So my horizons expanded. I became FRCS, MCH, I learned a lot and then I landed in Hyderabad. Otherwise, I would have been in Narsaraopet or Guntur.
Why orthopedic? That is the most opportune question that I would ask because in terms of glamour quotient, correct me if I'm wrong, but heart surgeon or cardiology would be the must be at the top of the ranks, and then orthopedics comes somewhere down the line because everybody breaks bones. And I remember reading this about you also that somewhere on the way you said that is one business which will never go out of business.
Yeah, in fact, orthopedics is again a choice by elimination. So then you get the graduation, when you try to do post-graduation, there are 10-12 branches there. So pediatrics, I did not want to do that because every time I see a baby and put a Venflon, it is a major surgery. Both the mother, father, all of them cry. So I didn't want to touch pediatrics. Psychiatry, I don't want to do that because I don't have that wherewithal or patience to deal with the patients. So like that, gynecology is out of question. Dermatology is out of question. So then I realized that orthopedics is a stable branch. As far as the roads and the vehicles are there, you will get accidents and you will have decent bread and butter. So that's what my thought process. But as you rightly said, when I chose orthopedics in India, it was still very unglamorous and poor cousin of general surgery. In fact, general surgeons are great at the time. Cardiac surgeons are number one. But orthopedics is a poor cousin. In fact, orthopedics did not have even a paper in MBBS. General surgery paper is there, but orthopedics, one question used to come, general surgery. So, but I took that. But once I went to England and I went into the right time, then the joint replacement is opening up. And I was fortunate to put my foray into joint replacement surgery. And that was the most glamorous subspecialty of orthopedics. So then I happened to be there, and then things fell into place.
I was reading also about you saying that you love doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's one particular case about a girl who's had 4 different major problems, and you operated on a 9-year-old girl. And that, I believe, you stay as the high point in your
Yeah,
career as such. What was it like, sir?
yeah. This girl was in wheelchair, and she got a bilateral rheumatoid arthritis. She could not walk. And rheumatoid arthritis is a very debilitating condition where your joints get worn out very younger age. She's not 9, around 12, 13.
Okay, sir.
So I operated on her both knees and hips, and I put her back on the feet, and that was the highest point of my career. She was on the wheelchair for 10 years, and I put her back on the feet. She was the happiest woman. She went on to do graduation, and she went on to get married, and she went on to get a job. And every year she sends me a greeting card, and that is the ultimate happiness in life for any doctor.
There is nothing, I mean, there's nothing bigger than that, actually, as
Absolutely.
they say. On a daily life, when you look at your thing, when you started the thing, why did you start Sunshine?
Yeah, a good question. In fact, I always wanted to have a very patient-centric hospital, and I got the dream even while coming back from England. A lot of people ask me, why did you come back from England? I just wanted to have the doctor-patient relationship in a very profound way, and that is found only in India, not anywhere in the world. In America, England, you might get more money, but you are a one small nut in the whole system.
Sure.
But here, the way people adore you, the way people adulate you is unbelievable. So I wanted that doctor-patient relationship. That's why I came back. And then I started my career in Apollo hospitals. It was a very successful 5-year journey. And then afterwards, I started my career with my co-brother, Dr. Bhaskar Rao, who is the chairman of KIMS Hospital Group. And again, we had a very good association in KIMS Hospital for another 5 years. But every 5 years, some bug strikes me. So then I thought I wanted to start a specialty orthopedic hospital. Then I went to my brother Bhaskar and said, I want to start a specialty. He said, if it is the case, go and pursue your dream. So that's why I carried on to this place and started Sunshine.
There is a not a joke, but there is a statement always made that if there's one place more busier than Secunderabad railway station, it is Sunshine Hospitals in Paradise.
I love that quotation.
The number of footfalls that, true, because I bought my wife for some minor procedure there sometime long back, what, a couple of years back. And I really felt that way, because that is good feeling for you, isn't it? To
Yeah.
see such a huge crowd at your hospital always.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm blessed in that way. And I see yesterday, for example, I have seen 185 outpatients in one day. 45 patients in this campus and 140 patients in Gachibowli campus. And the last patient I saw 9:30 in the night, and I went home by 10 o'clock. It's a physically draining,
Yes.
but such a professional fulfillment to see that these people are coming and waiting for me hours together. So that gives a real satisfaction.
Another bit I read about you to coincide with what you're saying, you said the smile which I give at 8 a.m. in the morning, and if I'm able to give at 8 p.m. in the night, I'll still stay on the job, or else I will retire.
Absolutely spot on. The people keep on asking me, when do you retire? My answer is the same. Because the 9 o'clock patient in the night, for him that 5 minutes is important.
True.
How much I tired, how many patients I've seen is immaterial. So if I can't give the same warmth, the same smile, and the same compassion and same empathy, or the same touching of the soul doesn't happen at 9 o'clock in the night, I'm not fit to practice. Fortunately, I'm still having that.
Now, when you, on a day, you said 140, now you must be obviously also neck deep in surgeries.
Yes.
I believe you do the major part of it, and like
Yeah,
any senior doctor,
exactly.
you leave the
Yeah,
minor parts
exactly,
to your team
exactly.
member to take
Yeah.
care. But with robotics, with all the modern gadgetry still coming in, and especially in a field like orthopedics, do you feel that technology has changed the way which you are working now rather than, say, 20 or 25
Yeah,
years ago?
technology has tremendously helped us in so many ways. In medical field, especially, I'll tell you, WhatsApp is the best thing that happened to the doctors.
Okay.
Initially, if something happens or if some fracture has happened, I have to come all the way to the hospital to see the fracture. Now, sitting at my home, I can see the fracture in my WhatsApp and give the instructions to my juniors or my fellows. The same thing now, the technology, the video rounds. Now, after the COVID, I don't do any physical rounds. I operated 20 patients today. Tomorrow morning, I sit in my operating room and do 20 patients video calls. If I go to, now, let us say, today I operated, tomorrow I leave to America. On the flight, I do a video round. So this technology has got me closer to the patients. Wherever I am, I can do video rounds, and my patients appreciate that. They will think that this doctor has gone to America, still he is making a video call to say hello to me. So that has come closer to that. And then third point is the robotics, which you mentioned.
Yes.
Robotics has revolutionized the way healthcare is going to practice in the future. It is only tip of the iceberg we are seeing. And in orthopedics, the robotics have come a big way. And I won't say that robot is the only way to do it, but it is adds value, tremendous value for the knee replacements, hip replacement, partial knee replacements. Already the papers are coming out with a good results. So robotics gives me enormous freedom and accuracy to the outcomes.
KIMS Sunshine then came about. So I think you keep coming back to, of course, the relation is always there in terms of the family
Yeah.
bond that is there. But
Yeah.
what made KIMS and Sunshine come together again?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I always say that the Sunshine is my wife, KIMS is my mother. So I married 10 years back, had a good life with my wife. Then we thought we'll go back to combined family. So I went back to my mother. That's what I tell in a generic way. But a lot of people should understand and to take a leave from my life is myself and my co-brother Dr. Bhaskar are in such a good terms even after departing. We are able to go back and club our both hospitals together. That's a great thing, and seldom it happens.
Yes.
Because when you depart from one hospital, no doubt when I departed from KIMS, I did some harm to the main hospital by taking off all my patients, practice. No doubt KIMS is bigger enough to absorb that lacuna. But I did definitely some harm in leaving that. But Bhaskar did not harbor any grudge, and he always wished me good luck. And when after 10 years, I went back saying that I cannot run this hospital anymore because of the financial judgments, and I'm not good at it. So I always say, I like Manmohan Singh, accidental prime minister, I'm an accidental entrepreneur. It's not in my blood. So after 10 years, I realized that it is not my cup of tea. I rather do my practice and enjoy life. So I went back to Bhaskar and he said, fine boss, come back. So that is the power of relationships. And that is the power of maintaining the relationship. That's why I keep telling, even when somebody leaves the hospital, the exit should be as palatable and as good as an entry. It should not be acrimonious. A lot of people, when they exit from an insured, they pick up something, fight with the boss, and then overnight they disappear. You should never do that.
I think never burn your bridges,
Yes,
as they say in English.
Absolutely.
Because one thing that I've seen with this hospital, because I've been personally acquainted due to a particular feature that I had to come here often, and I keep telling this to every person I meet, especially from the hospital sector. I will name them later off the record. But what I tell them is a pleasant surprise when you walk into this hospital is the way you're greeted right from the security guard to the person in the elevator to the person on the floor guiding you to the doctor. I mean, I don't see this in other hospitals. Honestly, that's last 1 week, 1 month, I must have gone to 6 of them. But I never seen that. But was it a specially decided strategy that the greeting, because the number of people you need to employ is huge. And that is something that I found very, very pleasant.
I'm very glad and thrilled that this came from you. That is my heart and that is my soul. And I always wanted to distinguish myself or my hospital from the others with that personal touch. We got a vertical called Apyaya. Apyaya, affection. So we got a vertical and we work day in and day out to develop that vertical where all these people are trained and so many things are happening. In fact, in another couple of years, I want to eliminate the word patient from our dictionary. It's only guest who is not well.
That's
That is the philosophy we wanted to inculcate. I'm sure you notice that right from the lift boy, the security, they will greet you, and so many initiatives happened there. In all our hospital, right through the day, all patients waiting for the outpatient appointments and their relatives get free coffee, tea, biscuits.
That's another thing I observed.
Yeah, in the summer they will get lassi,
Buttermilk. I saw the other
buttermilk,
day.
and in the lunchtime the diabetic patients will get sandwiches. Like that, the people who are waiting outside the operating theaters
They get
while their
lunch.
people are getting operated, they will get lunch, breakfast,
Breakfast.
sandwiches. Because this is a small gesture, Suresh.
Correct, sir.
Small gesture. That means the doctor is taking care of the people. That's what I wanted
And they'll
to
go and talk
spread
to
the
10
message.
people
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. No doubt it costs me, but that is a fraction. I always say that any hospital should be big enough to serve and small enough to listen.
Wonderful concept.
Yeah.
Wonderful concept.
That's all.
When you talk of two hospitals in your chain right now, KIMS Sunshine is two basically. You obviously would have a plans to expand and go up. What are your plans as you go ahead? Sir?
Yeah, I don't want to expand as a Sunshine. That's why I merged into KIMS.
Yeah.
So now I got 2 units, one here and one in Gachibowli. So basically our work ethos is like this. We got a brand name, Sunshine Bone and Joint Institute,
Okay.
which is available in 2 places. One here in Begumpet, one in Gachibowli. Tomorrow, another 2-3 places in Hyderabad. KIMS we are expanding. Probably we might put a footprint there depending on the requirement and the scope. But I don't want to move out of the Hyderabad. But whenever we move as a group, KIMS group.
Obviously, your hometown must be calling you back.
Yeah, Guntur. Recently, we opened a hospital in Guntur also. I went and did a lot of branding there. It was a very, very happy moment for me there.
In India, doing medicine is usually a family decision. You know, somebody in the family is a doctor, or the parents are doctor, then they want a child to be a doctor. It's like any other profession for that matter. Engineer, so engineer one eye. But when you look at today's medicine as a profession and what you were, say, 3 decades ago, isn't it a lot of difference now in terms of doing a medicine, not just doing a medicine, it's something far beyond it, to specialize, to become an expert and stayed focused on the job.
Yeah, so you're right. Gone those days where just MBBS is enough. Now MBBS is no job at all. And I'm really appalled to see that if only MBBS doctors get very, very paltry sum of money.
Sure.
So you got to do some post-graduation. And again, if you got, again, some super specialization. And you got to be expert in niche area. So competition is cutthroat. But at the same time, opportunities are plenty. When I was in medical school, there was only a government hospital. That's all. Or at the most outside, there are a couple of nursing homes. But now the corporate setup is so wide. Thanks to PC Reddy and Apollo Group, there are 100 of corporate hospitals who can absorb any super specialist with the top expertise anywhere from the world into their fold. So opportunities are there. But the amount of years you have to struggle is, as you said, 35, no, 40, 45. Until you get settled or go and see the first patient.
I think no other profession has that problem. I
That's
think
right. So this enormously, the opportunities have increased. The same way challenges are increased, competition is increased. Yeah.
India is known as a medical capital, so as to say, in terms of the lesser waiting time, the cost
Value
of doing
for money.
surgery.
Value for money.
Many patients come from West Asian nations, a few from America and few from UK. In fact, some of my friends who come from UK and US first go to a dental surgeon. Right from the airport, they go there because they say it's so easy
Cheaper,
to get an
yeah.
admission, get an appointment here. Do you think a time has come now for India, because we are known for our IT services, we are known for our pharmacies. There's a time that has come now that India should say that, look, we are also the medical capital of the world. Come to us. We are as good as a hospital in UK or US.
We are already positioning ourselves for the last decade. But of course, it's not made such a great progress because of the multiple reasons. And but we are definitely, especially value for money, the amount of expertise, the same expertise if you want to get, for example, if you take my branch, a knee replacement here with an American implant, with an England trained doctor, with a deluxe room, it all put together hardly, it costs around $6,000. The same implant in America costs you $25,000. So
More
such
times.
is the amount of gap between those. And it's a tremendous scope there. But government has to still, in fact, I am appointed as a chairman for the health task force of CII this year. I'm planning to do a lot of initiatives there. But government has to do a lot of proactive programs to attract more and more people from outside. So far, Africa, to some extent Middle East, and these countries come, but not the European countries. But slowly UK and other countries also might join in the future. But in the last 10-15 years, we are talking about the scope, the potential, but never realized the real potential of the healthcare industry of India. I think we are still a long way to go.
I think what the Prime Minister can do is, whenever he goes abroad and he markets India as a destination, many other
He
things.
should add healthcare into that.
He should add healthcare tourism, because
Yeah,
healthcare is a tourism also.
Yeah,
because a lot of
exactly.
people have the surgery
Yeah.
and then go to Kerala for a holiday.
Correct, exactly.
I've
yeah.
seen that.
Exactly.
But as we close this conversation, Dr. Gurava Reddy, basically today what we are seeing in India is there are three different tiers of hospital sector. The primary, which is basically where patients need not come to the city. They can be in their village or the district headquarters. Next is being in the district headquarters. And third is the city. But typically in India, whatever we may do in a rural outpost, they still want to come to the city. They want to see the doctor in the city. They want to have a touch and feel. Only then feel that. So if you set up, say, in Karimnagar, they say, no, I still want to come to Hyderabad. Do you think, as a doctor, do you face this dilemma and telling patients, look, you don't need to come here really all the way. This can be dealt at a level in Karimnagar. If there are some complications, do come to me, but it can be done there. In terms of saving money, saving the entire family's income as such.
Yeah, it's a very valid point and very critical point you touched upon. But Suresh, when it comes to healthcare, the people do not take any guesses. Even a rickshaw puller tries to take a loan and takes his wife to the best obstetric hospital for the childbirth. That is a psych. So they don't have that confidence in the tier 2 cities, the villages of the primary health care and this one. In fact, as I said, if I see 100 patients every day, in that, believe me, 50% of the patients do not need to come to me at all. They come for such a mundane things, back pain, heel pain. They can have been very well treated in their local
They
place.
want to see Dr. Gurava Reddy.
That's what it is. So number one, the patient psyche is like that. They wanted to go to the best. And it's not only here, all over the world. And number two, it will take some time. Already it's happening. Even the tier 2 towns and cities are showing a good infrastructure and showing good outcomes. So people are now stopped coming to that much. For example, before the bifurcation, many remote villages of Andhra, people used to travel to Hyderabad. But now that is stopped at Vijayawada, Guntur, like that. Because their big hospitals came, the outcomes are good, the foreign return doctors are there. So that availability of the expertise and the infrastructure made the difference. But still, some people come to the cities for seeing the doctors. That will slowly change. And another point is important point which I want to highlight is the medical legal litigations and the rowdyism of the unruly patients.
That is a problem.
And that has become a rampant nowadays. What happens is in a tier 2 city or town, if something happens, those people will ransack the hospital. So doctors have become very defensive. So they said, why should we take this risk? So the moment they see a patient with a bit of complication or advanced disease, though they know that they can treat there, they will say, no sir, you go to Hyderabad. So they want to wash it off hands, justifiably. Because tomorrow, no patient will come and garland you, sir, you saved my wife. But the other thing will happen. If you happen to have complication, that complication can happen or could happen even with me. But they won't do that here because of the size of the city, size of the hospital. But in tier 2, they just ransack within no time. So that's why the doctors in tier 2 have become so defensive, they don't take complicated case anymore. Though the expertise is available.
It's another profession which you love to do, or I can't call it a profession, is the fact that you love to be in the front of the camera. A lot of people, I mean, you have said this also in some interviews. You have your own YouTube channel, you have a number of subscribers. What kind of videos do you do, sir?
Most of the videos I do are patient education videos. How to sit, how to take care of back. So all those things. And recently I started a battle, literally not battle, war, against unethical, unfounded practices like PRP injections, in arthritic patients. Many people are earning lakhs of rupees and cheating the patients, gullible patients, saying that one injection can make all the difference, which is not true, which is not proven medically, and all the international bodies condemn that practice. It is unethical, unprofessional, but that is going rampant, and that I've been waging a battle for the last 2 years, and I'm happy that many people are taking notice of that and now shying away from those unethical practices. That is another thing. I wanted to go to the rooftop to shout about the unethical practices.
I think that's a great thing because today technology allows you to take that same message
Yeah.
from YouTube to, as you said, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
You can put it on one WhatsApp and you don't know where that message will
Exactly.
finally land up with lakhs of
Exactly.
people watching it.
Exactly.
But as we close the conversation, Doctor, what I want to ask you is in terms of where we move. I'm not asking you to look at 10 years from now, but say 5 years from now, in your specialization, what are going to be the major changes that you're anticipating?
Yeah, in healthcare, in the 5 to 10 years, the artificial intelligence, the machine learning, and the big data, and the robotics, all four put together, they will make healthcare much more foolproof. That means there won't be any misdiagnosis or wrong diagnosis. 100 out of 100.
No medical errors.
No medical errors as far as the diagnosis is concerned. Even the treatment modalities also will be very, very clearly defined. And so, in the next decade, the healthcare outcomes will be much, much better, more accessible, and more affordable. And doctors will be tremendously helped by these technology. But at that time, the most important thing is that human touch, and that is to be there. I always say that the higher you go in the corporatization of the hospitals, the more important is the human touch. As you already said, this is a 400-bed hospital, 20-story building, but my personal touch makes all the difference.
So exactly.
So that's what it is.
Absolutely correct, sir.
No healthcare will survive or will do well without a human face.
Wonderful. That is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for speaking to HyBiz, and I'm sure that as we go along, we will help you in terms of taking that message which you last spoke about unethical practices.
Absolutely.
That I'm sure that as a channel and as a person myself, we will have more conversations.
In fact, I love to do one program with you exclusively on this.
Sure, sir.
Showing what are these unethical doctors are claiming, and I already done a YouTube, and what are the evidence against that.
We'll definitely
do that sometime.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Namaste.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Gurava Reddy, a gentleman, a doctor, and of course, somebody who likes to talk and speak to his patients. Touch and feel, as he says, is very important. With thousands of surgeries that he has done in the orthopedic sector, especially in the knee joint replacement and other ones, he's created a niche for himself. And surely, as the times go along, people will remember and cheer him up when they start walking with a smile. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.